I don't personally mind talking about the word proof as long as it's understood to be a colloquial term that we're just saying proof to me is
That's
or
it.
something like that. But
That's it.
it due to the conversations in this community, it's forced the scientific conversations to eliminate the word proof altogether.
It is probably the single most important mathematical idea of all. The notion of proof by circle and line or ruler and compass construction means that geometry can be known about in a way that is different from knowing about physical things, and so makes geometry epistemically differentiated. Furthermore, starting from circles and lines alone and constructing a relationship using circles and lines alone makes the conclusions certain in a way that nothing else was at the time. In geometric reasoning, the argument and the conclusions were made supremely clear and evident to the senses. Indeed, the concept of proof, a mechanism that gave a warrant for claiming geometry to be perfectly and absolutely true, made geometry the very paradigm of what we mean true and certain knowledge to be. In effect, in our understanding of nature, true means true like geometry is true.
Come go with me. Open your mind. Skeptical mind was all I ever knew. Finding the knowledge of the real world starts with the point of which has no parts. These are the axioms of life.
True.
And I'll take my chances with the old ways, finding the proofs in geometry. And I don't care what all the sophists say, I'll find the proofs
We call this
in
proof.
reality. 'Cause they were right.
We call this
We
proof.
know that they were right.
True. We call this proof. Like geometry is true.
Starting with circles and lines alone, constructing the nature of what's known.
We call this proof.
Conclusions are clear and the evidence seen. This 3D space works perfectly. And I'll take my chances with the old ways, finding the proofs in geometry. And I don't care what all the sophists say, I'll find the proofs in reality.
Like geometry is true. Perfect. Absolutely.
And all around you is sinking sand. You have a place on which to stand. Foundations were already built for you.
Absolutely true.
Open your mind, and I'll take my chances with the old ways, hearing the words of what the ancients said. They say my words sound like sorcery, but there's wisdom in all honesty.
True.
Come go with me. Open your mind. Come go with me. We'll find the truth.
Absolutely true.
Happy New Year to you, SC.
Thank you, sir.
Are you have you made any resolutions? I mean, are you going to
Not
stop saying dumb
particularly.
shit this year, maybe?
Say again?
I said, are you going to stop saying dumb shit this year, maybe?
Well, I'm gonna continue saying what I am saying. If what you think that's dumb shit, well, yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Oh, dear. Oh, all right, then. No, we've got
That's
that.
like
I
the
come in
question.
peace tonight. I come in peace. I want to ask you guys a question.
Oh, go on, then.
What is a proof? Seriously.
Well, that's
It's
the
not a
thing about,
tactic.
that's the wonderful thing about science. We don't look for proofs. We look for consensus.
Do you hold any
We all
proofs
make an
yourself?
agreement. After most of us agree that something exists, like a round Earth or
A
a
great
globe
circle is a
Earth,
straight
then
line.
we don't really need to look for a proof. We've all come to that conclusion.
What is a proof?
Unless something
Seriously.
comes along that
It's not a
shows us
tactic.
that we're wrong, then we'll reevaluate. Disprove the word proof.
Are you afraid of the question, bro?
Figure out what the shape of the globe is, and make adjustments for it. There is no real proof in science.
You can have a line that extends in a third dimension.
A great circle is a straight
it's
line.
not actually what you would refer to as a straight line, but will still be a straight line in the two-dimensional aspect.
A great circle is a straight line.
Are you afraid of the question, bro?
It's not my problem if you don't want.
All I was saying is that a circle is not a straight line.
Disprove the word proof. Not say this is a proof for this.
Do you hold any proofs
You
yourself?
can have a consensus. No, I'm a scientist. Something's going to come along eventually and might just change that proof and make it not provable.
Did non-Euclidean geometry supersede Euclidean geometry? Like, is it bye-bye?
Hell no.
They're discussing two totally different domains. So one would
Do you
not
hold any
supersede the
proofs
other
yourself?
unless
No, I'm a scientist.
context of.
Are you afraid of the question, bro?
All right, if we're dealing with a sphere,
They're discussing two different geometries.
if we have a sphere and we're trying to do some geometry with it, are we now doing spherical geometry?
No, you're discussing the circuit.
You can do it in Euclidean, or you can do it in spherical.
A great circle is a straight line.
You don't understand.
All I was saying is that a circle is not a straight line.
It's not my problem if you don't want to learn.
Disprove the word proof.
Just on your own.
Since we got a big crowd here, I want to ask you guys, because we're doing a project, and I'd like to know what constitutes a proof for you guys. Like, what would convince you of something like a proof?
Generally, everybody concedes that the Earth's a globe.
A great circle
Okay,
is a
but if
straight
somebody
line.
comes along and shows with definitive
Do you hold any proofs
evidence,
yourself?
that globe theory is wrong,
A great circle is a straight line.
then science opens
Do you
its
hold
doors
any
and
proofs
says, all right,
yourself?
let's figure out what's going on here.
I'm
Why are
a
we
scientist.
wrong? What happened?
So yeah, I like that. So you're saying I have to present you something that I can explain to you,
No,
that I
I'm
can
a
repeat,
scientist.
and I mean that you can also do and repeat for yourself and verify. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I think there are mathematical proofs.
You don't understand.
A great circle is a straight line.
You don't understand.
All I was saying is that a circle is not a straight line.
It's not my problem if you don't want to learn.
Disprove the word proof.
In spherical geometry, a straight line is a great circle.
No reason, no logic, no
No, I'm a scientist.
worry.
All I was saying is that a circle is not a straight
You're
line.
just on your own.
Do you hold any proofs yourself?
No reason,
No, I'm a scientist.
logic, no answers to question.
Are you afraid of the question, bro?
You're just on your own.
Do you hold any proofs yourself, sir? Do you hold any proofs yourself?
No, I'm a scientist. Why would I sit there and say this is the Michelangelo proof of such and such?
There are more geometries than just on a flat plane. For example, the thing that I mentioned, spherical geometry. A straight line is a great circle.
Can we prove something simple like a straight line? All I was saying is that a circle is not a straight line.
Mathematically, you could.
A great circle is a straight line.
But
How
I
would
don't
you
know.
go about
Well,
doing
okay,
it?
are you talking about a straight line on a piece of paper? That you've got some problems there that you could go into if you want to talk about the physics of the line itself. But if you're talking about mathematically 2 points being intersected, creating a straight line, yeah, there's a mathematical proof for
All I
that.
was saying is that a circle is not a straight line. So we can prove. So how? Well, what would you? How would you explain it? Like in your words?
The shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line in
A
math.
great circle is a straight line.
Perfect.
Only in
Beautiful.
math?
Yeah.
But that's
That's
a
it.
mathematical proof.
Since we got a big crowd here, I want to ask you guys, because we're doing a project, And I'd like to know what constitutes a proof for you guys. Like, what would convince you of something like a proof? So, Doofus, you think a circle is a straight line, correct? All I'm saying is that a circle
In spiritual geometry it is, and it's not about what I think. It's about what is definitely published in geometry books around the world.
Are you afraid of the question, bro?
You cannot make a scientific proof. You can do a mathematical proof, but a real scientific proof can always be challenged. Anybody who makes a proof claim can be challenged, and that makes it not a proof anymore. Disprove the word proof, and that makes it not a proof anymore. And that makes it not a proof the word proof.
So there is a shorter distance between 2 points than a straight line.
In outside of math
A great
itself.
circle is a straight line.
Outside of math itself. Now there's another
In reality,
kind of math.
but in reality.
In reality, outside of
A
math,
great circle is a straight
Yeah.
line.
I don't personally mind talking about the word proof as long as it's understood to be a colloquial term that we're just saying proof to me is, or something like that. But, you know, due to the conversations in this community, it's forced the scientific conversations to eliminate the word proof altogether.
The surface, that concept, the surface of a sphere is an abstract concept. It is 2D. That's a fact.
A great circle is a straight line.
All I was saying is that a circle is not a straight line.
It's not my problem if you don't want to learn. You're just on your own.
Essie, you're trying to use the word proof again when we've already come to the conclusion that that's not the word you're supposed to use in that context.
You what? You're banning words now? Is your name Bob or something?
well, Jeremy, I can
This
give you an
is Gem
experiment.
server. Shout out to Gem, by the way.
Shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line in mathematics.
Me or no?
Outside of mathematics, the shortest distance, you have to include other factors such as time and so forth. This is where a scientist would just sit there and look at you and go, how can you call that a proof? You cannot say this is a proof for this existence. You can have a consensus, but if something's going to come along eventually and might just change that proof and make it not provable.
A proof in the terms of mathematics is a concept that shows that all relationships all things involved in that
Are you afraid of the question?
will come up within that same boundary.
A great circle is a straight line.
All I was saying is that a circle is not a straight line.
It's not my problem if you don't want to learn. You're just on your own.
Disprove the word proof.
No reason, no logic, no wisdom, no worries.
No, I'm a scientist.
You're just on your own. No reason, no logic, no answers to question.
Are you afraid of the question, bro?
You're just on your own.
I'd like to hear some more opinions on proof if anybody wants to give their opinion.
Only if it involves math, because I've said this time and time again, and then I got censored for it, that I said math has proof, science does not. And that's a fact.
Only Journalism has made a genuine effort
Disprove
to do
the
that
word
test
proof.
in a way that cannot be refuted.
I mean, if we can't even come to a simple agreement of what proof is,
No, I'm a
how are we
scientist.
going to progress?
You have to leave the surface in order to do the chord.
I don't know exactly how all the things. Yeah, we don't use a mathematical proof to, or disprove the word proof, or come to the consensus.
Or there's a more general answer. And a straight line, or I'm sorry, the shortest distance between 2 points is a
A great
geodesic.
circle is a
And a straight line is the subset of geodesic.
Are you afraid of the question, bro?
It's just as easy as 1, 2, 3.
Disprove the word proof.
You have to open your mind. Imagination is all you need.
want to put this in people's mind. What is proof to you?
Well, first let me say there is no such thing as a proof in science.
Are you afraid of the question, bro?
If you wanted to be considered quote-unquote proof, it would need to be testable, repeatable, investigatable.
And that's not how science works. And you're missing what my point is. It's the word proof that needs to be tossed out. I'm a scientist, not the consensus.
Are you afraid of the question, bro? I have the feeling that you don't want to answer this question. You want to deflect. What would you accept as proof?
A great circle is a straight line.
No, I'm a scientist.
A great circle is a straight line.
But in life, no, in life, there is no proof, no real proof.
All I was saying is that a circle is not a straight line.
A great circle is a straight line.
No, I'm a scientist.
Math can prove that math is correct. Math doesn't prove reality. That's not how it works.
Are you saying that a circle is a straight line?
A great circle is a straight line.
Only in the context of spherical geometry.
Or another way to disprove the word proof of the shortest distance between two lines. You fold space.
What is a proof? Seriously.
Well, that's
it's not a fact.
That's the wonderful thing about science. We don't look for proof. We look for consensus.
All I was saying is that a circle is not a straight line.
Disprove the word proof.
Okay, it's not doublespeak if you don't understand it.
Disprove the word proof.
Something true doesn't require a human mind to be able to prove it.
No, I'm a scientist.
Problem, Jeremy, of additional dimensional thinking. For instance, you take 2 points in time. What's the shortest distance between them?
I think what you guys are claiming to be proof when you're using that word, in science they used to call that a law, which laws can be shown to be not true.
No, I'm a scientist.
It's pretty flat and level now.
If you enjoyed the content, please support On the Level and future projects. Membership subscriptions available now, or come and get involved at Next Level Discord server. Thank you.
Reputable, reliable evidence.
Like what, for example?
Well, I don't know. It's very difficult because the problem is, you see, the Earth isn't flat. So it's very difficult for me to come up with some process by which you could establish that it was. I don't know. I mean, look,
I know it's a tough question.
Think about the things that have been done so far, like these laser tests, for instance. Now, there was FE Core set out to do this laser test where they were going to hit a target with their laser. But they didn't manage to do that. So then they lied and said all they intended to do was see the laser a long way off. And we've seen that done multiple times now by many flat earthers. Only one, only Jeranism, has made a genuine effort to do that test in a way that cannot be refuted. And obviously he was unsuccessful. He would claim for, different reasons. But if he had been successful, that would have been a very, very compelling test indeed. But of course, but everyone, I think it must be insulting to him to see these people, like, for instance, Shelley Lewis, making a great big deal out of the fact that she's gone out and done a laser test and seen a laser from a long way off, and totally ignored all of the objections that he tried to deal with. It's like they took a step backwards. But anyway, that wasn't really a question. But like I say, that would be an example, I think, if he had done it as he intended to do it, which was addressing the objections that have been made about laser beams spreading out. And that would have been very compelling. But of course, he was unsuccessful.
Oh, I hear what you're saying about the laser test, but that's really not, what I'm after. Like, and not just you, Gemma, because since we have a lot of people here, I'm curious, because I know, for example, maybe what I would accept, right? But maybe that's not for everybody, right? So, I mean, if we can't even come to a simple agreement of what proof is, I mean, how are we going to progress? See what I'm saying?
Because I think, for a start, proof is, in this context, is a personal thing. But you can present evidence for something, but whether it amounts to proof of a thing is down to the individual, right?
Yes, I would agree with that. Yeah. So I ask, what would people accept as proof, right?
Well, like I say, if it's down to the individual, you would need individual answers for that, wouldn't you? That's what you're after, is it?
So you're saying there's no way to prove something. That's your answer. You're saying proof is different for everybody.
Yeah, I think there are mathematical proofs, but I think when we're using proof in this context of the word, we even recognize that in our legal system, don't we? We have a jury of 12 people, or at least usually a panel of 3 judges in some places. But we recognize that different people will consider evidence in different ways, and for some people it will amount to proof, and for others it won't. Right?
Like I asked Blue and George, I believe it was, and they said like a picture will suffice for them.
A picture. If we could see the whole flat Earth, that would be ideal, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yep. So a picture would suffice for you as well as proof.
Well, for the entire flat Earth, yeah, that would be beyond sufficient.
It has to have the the reputable background to go with it. We have to be able to see where the picture came from, how it was taken, that sort of thing. There have to be people who are telling us they were involved in its production, and they have to be credible. You can't just knock something up in 3D Max and show us that, and we're going to accept it.
But so a picture from a reputable source, let's say.
So now the standard isn't the picture.
Let's say for a bit of a project you're putting together,
of the source.
What I would consider "quote unquote" proof would be something that would be a testable, repeatable, transparent project where the outcome was solely indicative of a flat Earth within the confines of known physics. That's what I would take.
But you're going to flat Earth right away, like. So in the context of a flat Earth is how you think of proof.
No, I said for this project, which I assume is going to be on the shape of the planet. Am I right?
No.
Okay, so in that case, let me back it up. When it comes to a project, if you wanted to be considered "quote unquote" proof, it would need to be testable, repeatable, investigatable. And in the event that it's a one-off style event, it just needs to conform to known physics, or provide an alternative means of relatable physics, or whatever subject it has to be, that would be solely indicative of a singular possibility.
Yeah, I like that. So you're saying I have to present you something that I can explain to you, that I can repeat, and I mean that you can also do and repeat for yourself and verify. Is that what you're saying?
I don't have to personally verify it. I just need to be able to, by doing it, I need to be able to run through the process and determine if there's anything about it in your methodology that is incorrect, or check your assumptions and things like that. I don't have to personally be able to do it, but I do need to be open enough and transparent enough to where I can investigate each part of the process
and verify it for yourself. Let's say to satisfy yourself that what I said or what I'm trying to show is indeed correct.
Yeah, but now in the way that I've said it, that doesn't mean in the event of a rocket,
It's got to be testable and repeatable. But I don't need to be testing or repeating it.
That's not what I would consider.
And now I'm going to pull back on
Things
that.
like that.
How would you
because now I've
verify
said
that
something.
said rocket then? How would you be able to verify it to yourself and to be able to convince me? See what I'm saying? As
Well,
that one example. There's many others, right? But yeah.
Wait. See, why am I trying to convince you? You said, what did I consider proof for me?
So you would consider, okay, so I just want to get this straight. So what you consider proof of a rocket is you see a rocket lifting off the launch pad, right? We all see that, right?
We're not even getting.
We can all see it with our eye and verify it up to a certain distance, correct?
We're not there yet, Essie.
We agree on this, right?
Essie, you're getting lost in the weeds and trying to create a scenario for us to be defended at the moment. That's not what we're trying to do. All I'm trying to say is I want to be able to verify
Semantics.
each
Whenever
portion
you're trying to nail down what proof,
by having open access to your methodology in the event that I cannot replicate it myself. That's it.
In the event he can't replicate it, so like
I think you lost me there. In the event that you cannot replicate it yourself, did you say?
Then yeah.
In the event that I
right?
cannot be personally on a rocket.
So that just means
or
I
cannot
believe
build
something,
this-
I can't verify it, but I need to still believe it without the verification. So I got to
things, at least at the basis.
I need to accept
following
it as
the
a proof,
methodology.
even though I
You're having an
cannot
open method to how this is
prove it to myself.
Okay, how would you go about doing that in the event that you're not there?
You say that a rocket launched it, and we've got evidence of a whole bunch of different accounts of it happening. I've seen it on TV, but I'm not personally on it. That's all well and good. I need access to this. If you want to try to use it as proof for me, cool. How much fuel did it have on it? Let's run this. How fast did you say accelerated? What altitudes did it go to? Different things like that. Run it through the thrust equations and see if it checks out.
Okay, that's good.
I hear what you're saying, so that would be enough for you. So seeing it up to a point with your eyes, and then you're taking the words of how much gas, the pictures you see, and that. Okay, fine. I'm not going against. I just merely want to know what different people's opinion of proof is.
Very good. Well done, SE.
As long as the methodology is solid, and I have a way by which I can verify the methodology.
Yeah, no, I think he's
even if
doing
it's
great.
not
Showing
recreating. That's
how
good
they
enough for me.
can't,
Anyone else got
they
anything
can't.
to throw in?
Respect. Thank you for your opinion.
Commit. They can't commit to something like, okay, this is what proof is. Videos are proof.
Say it had to come from a reputable source.
Great.
The
Yes.
source is irrelevant.
Here's a video
Because if you're
of
talking about
Bigfoot. No,
reputable
that's not
sources,
proof. Well,
I'm going to have to bring it to NASA. And, if you think a government agency is a reputable source, you're out of your fucking mind.
Using water levels
I would
with
say just
markers
it being
is proof.
repeatable, repeatable is good enough.
I don't have to explain it.
And as long as it only went towards, well, if you're not doing it as an Earth-shaped test and whatever, just repeatable.
Conversation's good. I'm recording.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, it's all right.
Does
It's
anybody
good.
here else claim that rockets don't work in space or in a vacuum?
Don't
Bro,
say
can you
about
show us
rockets,
rockets
come
working
on.
in a vacuum?
No, stick on the proof, guys. Come
yeah,
on.
it's like Jeremy needs
Changing the
to
subject.
felt it.
Come on,
okay,
guys.
well
Let's have
done,
some more
SE.
opinions on
Good
proof.
lad.
I'm sure there's other people that want to get in on this.
Like something definitive. Like say you were trying to let's just say, for example, you were trying to check if water was flat or curving. You need to have something that would only be indicative of one thing or the other. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's great, Jeremy. Like, how would we make a test? Let's say we want to prove that water curves, right? What test would we do? Something like that. That would be nice too, yeah. But proof in general.
Jeremy, would you
I'd say you'd have to be able to this thing, go to this place. It'd have to be, like you said, repeatable. You know what I mean? You need to be able to touch something for it to be proven. Like the existence of water, right? Nobody's denying the existence of water. Everyone drinks water, bathes in it, all kinds of shit. We know water exists. Like, that's definitive, rock solid. We can touch it, smell it, taste it, all kinds of shit.
Water's tasteless.
Whatever, you know what I meant.
It's wet.
Well, that's debatable if it's wet or not. Listen, the point is, you need to be able to touch something.
What would you accept as proof?
I mean, it depends on what we were talking about. You know, if it was the existence of water, I'd... Oh, go.
Oh, that's cool, Jeremy. I mean, yeah.
Like, if you were like, yo, I'm prove water exists to you, I'd be like, all right, let's do it. And then you, like, went and threw a bucket of water on me, and like, bam, that was it. I'd be like, all right, that's pretty definitive. There it is. I touched it. It's there. I can see it.
That worked for me. Yeah,
I know it's water, but
So,
I get
would you
it.
test the claim? You don't believe rockets can work in a vacuum?
Hold on, bro. We're trying to get this thing
He's
sorted out for us
persistent with
here.
rockets in a vacuum, this guy. Like, dude, we talk about this all day, every...
No, but I want to know.
Come
would
on.
You stand next to a vacuum? Will you stand next
Get
to
it off this
explosive
fucking
in a vacuum?
topic.
Would you stand next to
What would you accept as proof, bro? Let's start.
Would you stand next to a explosive inside a vacuum? Would you do that?
And what would that prove to you if you did that?
Would you? I wouldn't stand next to an explosive in a vacuum.
Are you afraid of the question, bro? I have the feeling that you don't want to answer this question.
I did
You want to
answer. I wouldn't want
deflect.
to do it.
What would you accept as proof?
Like, let's say you thought
What are you talking about?
volcanoes
That's
didn't
a simple
exist.
question. Proof about what?
Anything. What would...
I'm asking, if you don't think rockets work in space, would you stand next to a vacuum with an explosive?
See, are you talking about
no,
the proof?
okay, the answer is no. Now your turn. What is proof to you? What is proof to you, sir?
Shit, I don't care. Not my problem.
So you just want to deflect the conversation. I get it. Okay, got it.
Yeah, it's just a question.
Are you trying to prove that? Hold on a second. Essie, are you trying to prove the cause to an effect, or just like the existence of something? Like, what is prove what? I think it matters.
No, bro. I'm trying to figure out what people. I'm genuinely interested in this. I want to know what proof is. What proof is to people, because if we can't even come to that agreement, I mean, we're going nowhere, right? So I want to put this in people's mind. What is proof to you?
It matters depending on what it is exactly that the proof is involved. Like, if you're trying to prove a cause to an effect, I would say we need to follow the scientific method very closely. If you were trying to say, I'm going to prove the existence of something, then I would say, well, we need to touch it, be able to interact with it somehow, something,
Well, first let me say there is no such thing as a proof in science, because science is constantly
you're fucking
updating
wrong.
itself. Right, Jeremy, I'm the scientist here and you're not, so you want to go down this road again, and I keep trying to tell you how unqualified you are in going down this road. So let me explain to you in very plain terms.
I'm the scientist.
You cannot make a scientific proof. You could do a mathematical proof, but a real scientific proof can always be challenged. Anybody who makes a proof claim can be challenged, and that makes it not a proof anymore.
Just because
Okay, so this dipshit thinks you can't prove anything ever.
If he can
You're
then that
done.
stops it from being
No,
a proof.
you can have a
No, I mean,
consensus, a
that's all
general
you gotta do is
consensus
challenge
among
it.
scientists that something is or something isn't, but you cannot say this is a proof for this existence. You can have a consensus, but if something's going to come along eventually and might just change that proof and make it not provable. There are a few absolutes out there that you can go for and feel pretty confident on that they're going to stay absolute no matter how much science changes. but
Okay,
you
I
will
have the
not
perfect
have
thing for
a
you.
real
Somebody
proof.
got chips in
I
the
have the
background
perfect
there.
thing for you. I'm glad you brought that up.
Sounds like
This is the perfect time for this. You heard of Dave Weiss and the 3 Bitcoin challenge?
No.
Okay, he's offering 3 Bitcoins for 1 proof of a globe.
Oh, but do you think we should take that seriously, dude? Really?
Well, look.
What does Dave Weiss consider proof?
Well, that's the thing.
That's what. That's
the thing is, it's Dave Weiss, a man with 3 Bitcoin incentive to not agree, to decide what constitutes a proof, isn't it? I mean, if he was serious, if he's really deadly serious and he wants to see a proof, let's see him give those 3 Bitcoins to a lawyer, lay out the rules for what constitutes a proof, have an independent panel, so it's not him that decide whether a proof has been produced, and let's see if he's willing to risk his 3 Bitcoins then. I bet you he'll shut up. That would be a fair way of doing it. That's the way competitions are normally conducted, with a lawyer, things like lotteries and things like that. There's a lawyer involved. They have an independent panel of judges for things. So why not do it that way?
Right.
Yeah,
okay.
it's really
I
hard.
can't disagree with that. But hold on. What would be a proof, though? This is what I'm asking here.
But you can't expect people to go into his challenge where he's the judge. He's the person that gives out the prize, and he's the judge. How's that ever going to work?
I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that. That's why I'm asking.
I think that you
what
should.
Would we all agree?
Hold on,
is a
let me
proof?
finish. Can I finish? I think that you should recognize what a crappy tactic that is for him to go swanning around it. Can I finish? For him to go swanning around the internet, telling everyone he's doing a 3 Bitcoin challenge, and for you to propagate his ridiculous tactic. It's obviously a tactic.
I'm not doing a tactic. I truly, because of that got me to thinking, Jem, what is a proof? Seriously.
Well, that's
it's
the
not
thing
a tactic.
about science. That's the wonderful thing about science. We don't look for proofs. We look for consensus. We all make an agree. After most of us agree that something exists, like a round Earth or a globe Earth, then we don't really need to look for a proof. We've all come to that consensus. Unless something comes along and shows us that we're wrong, then we'll reevaluate our first observations and our first experimentations to figure out what the shape of the globe is and make adjustments for it. There is no real proof in science. You have to
keep
accept
saying
the
it
fact,
over and over again.
You have to accept the fact
You keep
that
saying over and over.
Hold on, the word proof is definitive. Consensus allows for change, and you have to have that allowance in science, or you're not doing science.
Do you hold any proofs yourself, sir? Do you hold any proofs yourself?
No, I'm a scientist. Why would I sit there and say this is the Michelangelo proof of such and such?
Get in here, Jeremy. I know Jeremy's trying to get in. Go ahead.
So always wrong. You have nothing to stand on.
You keep saying it over and over again doesn't make it true. When you do follow the scientific method the correct way, not the pseudoscience bullshit way some people like to do it. You have a null and an alternative. You have a null and an alternative hypothesis. So then, when you're done, it can only be one or the other.
You mean like pseudoscience, like QE?
Okay. No, hang on, Jeremy. To answer your statement, if you don't mind, I'll just say this. Okay, if you cannot flexibly wait and wait for the consensus of your peers when you're doing your experimentations, and when you've come to a conclusion, and when they have come to a conclusion, and you all agree, and all of a sudden new information comes along, you're telling me that is no longer a proof.
Model afflicted.
And that's not how science works. And you're missing what my point is. It's the word proof that needs to be tossed out, not the consensus. Consensus is how science is done.
What?
Ask any scientist.
Are you saying agreement by consensus replaces proof?
No, proof.
That's where you're. Hold on.
Okay, in mathematics, yes. In mathematics, yes. A proof is no. I mean, in mathematics,
no, in real life.
Definitive.
In real life.
But in life, no, in life, there is no proof, no real proof. I mean, you could generally have everybody concede. Hold on.
Really?
You can have generally everybody concede that the Earth's a globe. Okay. But if somebody comes along and shows with definitive evidence, that globe theory is wrong, then, science opens its doors and says, all right, let's figure out what's going on here. Why are we wrong? What happened?
You don't know how real science, natural science works, bro.
I don't.
Right
I make
now.
a living
You don't
doing
know.
that, and
You
don't. So,
Jeremy, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard you say to a damn professional.
Clueless on how natural science works, dude.
It's exactly how it works, and you
Mr.
have no idea
Scientist,
how it
can I
works. I'm
make a
sorry,
statement?
Jeremy.
Mr. Scientist.
Go ahead.
Let me make a statement, if I may. If you don't drink water for about a month, you will die. I can prove that to you.
You die in about 4 days.
Is that a wrong
7
statement,
days,
sir,
actually.
scientist?
No, that's actually correct. You are most likely going to die. Now, let's.
So did I prove that? Can I?
No,
is that
no,
proof?
you didn't, because there might be somebody who is actually out there that's not going to die in that period of time.
Okay, how about 6 months?
Of course you're going to die.
Yeah, Montreal.
Well, did I just prove that? Was that just a statement?
No.
of
What you
proof?
did is you made an observation, and that's been the general consensus of science, that if you don't drink water, you're going to die. But we're not going to say that proves it. We're just going to say that's exactly what we're going to say. We're all going to come to the same. Look at anybody's papers. Look at anybody's published papers for their doctorates, for their masters, or whatever. It all ends in a conclusion. It doesn't end in a proof.
Look at these papers.
Remember that.
Remember.
No, you're not making any sense, sir. Because I believe I just proved to you, and you agreed with me
what you believe
that if
is,
you don't
I'm
drink
sorry, go
water
ahead.
for 6 months, that you will die.
Actually,
you agreed
Montreal,
with me.
I agree
Montreal,
with you on the conclusion, not the proof.
And Montreal, once again, that wouldn't be proof, because there are people that subsist without drinking any water whatsoever, although they do have it placed intravenously.
Oh, okay. So
They still
there's
get water.
Yeah,
It's an exception.
They're not
Okay.
drinking.
All right. I understand
Water
that people are going to dehydrate if they don't increase, or replace the water supply in their bodies somehow. I agree with that, and that's a conclusion. That's a scientific conclusion. And again, like I want to point out, just look at any reputable paper out there. They all end in a conclusion. They don't end in a proof.
Call it
How
what
about
you
if
like,
you chop?
sir.
How about if you chop someone's head? How about if you hold on, Joby? How about if you chop someone's head off? Is it proven they'll die after that?
The problem is just having a correct statement is not sufficient to use the word proof. You're trying to use the word proof when correct is the word you're trying to use. You should be using.
Okay, I was proven correctly. All right, I'll accept that.
Okay,
That was
and
bullshit.
when I say yes, your head,
That's
when
it.
it gets chopped off and you die, I am coming to the same conclusion that you are, and the majority consensus is you're going to die. And I'll be willing to bet there's some idiot running around out there saying, no, you can chop off my head, I won't die.
Yeah, the idiot doctor that
Right.
thinks he can do the full cranial transplant.
There we go.
And actually, you can't prove anyone that
They
if
do
you chop
always
their
go to
heads,
death,
they will
right?
die. There's no way to prove it.
So far now, yeah, they're going to die.
Well, didn't they chop a dog's head off
you
and it
can't
didn't
prove
die?
it for, you can prove someone else died. You can't prove they died if you chop their head.
So we're moving along here. We just made two proofs, and
No,
we
two
just said you
conclusions.
guys just said you can't prove.
They don't agree. They think if you cut someone's head off, there's a chance maybe they won't die.
No, it's not what
Is that
I
what you
said,
guys think, or do you
Jeremy.
guys
I
think
said
it's proven?
No, it's not what I said. I said you can't prove someone that if you chop their head, they die. Because they
Then chop their
die
head off.
the
What do you
minute
mean?
you chop their head.
Like I said earlier,
The minute
applies.
you chop their head, they die, and you can't prove it to them.
Okay, let
I'll
me
agree
ask
that
you
if
guys this question. I know I don't want to trigger you, so
Let me ask a question before
Hold on,
you.
hold on,
I've been
Leo,
trying
please.
to get in forever.
Leo,
and people
Leo.
keep on muting me. No, Angelo.
Leo,
question
hold
for you.
on, bro. You're interrupting,
For
bro.
scientific, no.
Be polite.
Leo, just
I'm
hang
actually
on
on
one second.
topic.
Go ahead and let him finish his little point, and then Leo, I'll let you ask me anything you like.
He will never finish. He'll keep asking questions, and this will solve the issue. There is scientific consensus that the Earth rotates. Is there mathematical proof that the Earth rotates?
My question is, can you
If there's-
prove a
Answer my
straight line,
question,
guys?
Angelo.
If
Can
there's
you?
well, I don't know. Is there an equation that demonstrates it? If there is, it most likely will be it demonstrates that how you measure a sphere rotating. It doesn't prove that the Earth is rotating, though.
That's why I specifically asked, is there mathematical proof that the Earth rotates?
I don't think. Well, I don't know exactly how
We don't
all the
typically have
things.
mathematical proof.
Yeah, we don't use a mathematical proof to solve or come to the consensus.
Okay, at the equator, it's said to rotate at 1,000 miles per hour. Is there a way to have a mathematical formula show that that's true?
You can write a correct equation for that, but a proof isn't just a correct equation. A proof, in the terms of mathematics, is a concept that shows that all relationships all things involved in that relationship will come up within that same boundary.
Yeah, you got it twisted, Lale.
Hold on,
Lale. Can I jump in real quick?
completely agree.
Lale? Can I say something?
Can you use the
Just real quick.
mathematical formula and prove that mathematical formula is true with mathematics?
Lale, the thing is, math can prove that math is correct. Math doesn't prove reality. That's not how it works.
All right, so you can't use
It's a
the
tool.
word proof.
It's a tool that aids
So
the
the cars that
observation.
we create in reality aren't done by math.
No, it aids our observations and helps
that's
in
not what I
coming
just
to the
said, though.
conclusions, but it doesn't give us the right to say this proves it, because just because a mathematical formula is used to demonstrate a speed or an angular, like just angular momentum, things like that, all the stuff that you're trying to calculate when you're figuring out the rotation of the Earth, and even figuring out gravity has a formula, but that doesn't allow you to say that proves that gravity exists. The observation, the science behind it, and the consensus, that's where it comes from. We all then go and publish what we came up with all our data and all our math, and say, we came to the conclusion now that gravity exists. The rotation of the Earth is this much and varies a little bit depending on the orbit and where you are in latitude, things like that. And all of a sudden now you have a consensus among scientists. Now there's also a consensus among deniers out there who say, no, this is all wrong. And so science has to either decide that, yes, there's enough people saying that there's something wrong with the globe theory that we have to reinvestigate it, or they'll listen to what the proposal is of a flat earther, and if the flat earther comes with some decent proofs, or not proofs, but decent experimentation and data and conclusions, we'll examine the data. If we come to the same conclusions, then you suddenly are joined in a peer group that says, yeah, the Earth's flat.
Listen, science doesn't work by consensus, dude. Some guy does an experiment.
Really?
Well, maybe your pseudoscience does. Maybe your pseudoscience does.
God damn it.
Actual science.
Stupid.
A guy does an experiment. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Science. A guy does an experiment. He doesn't need to check with anyone. He sees the results in the experiment and knows what happened.
And suddenly he's gotten right.
He
What
doesn't
if
need
he's
to go
wrong
take
in
a
his data?
Guys, please stop interrupting. That's 4 times now. Just let him speak. Go ahead, Jeremy.
No, I'm done. Thanks, but go ahead.
Well, Jeremy, here's the problem. When you have your friend who's doing an experiment, comes up with his data, and publishes his paper, other scientists are going to look at that data, look at his conclusion, or as he'll call it, a proof, and if they find anything wrong with it, if they find out that there's something missing in the steps in the process or so forth, or even if they find everything is right, but the conclusion is wrong because he misinterpreted the data, they're going to come back as a peer group and demonstrate experimentally, if they need to, where he went wrong and take him out that way. However, if he's 100% correct, or if everybody comes to the same conclusion as he does, yes, this is true, after listening to him, looking at his data and experimenting, they're going to come to the consensus there is something worth looking at and change their science of what they've been doing that he is contradicting, and try to find out where they went wrong. Because obviously, if there's a disagreement, somebody went wrong.
The word reproducibility.
Or they both are right.
That sounds. Sorry, Jeremy.
Go ahead. You don't come here often. Go ahead. Get at him.
No, I was just going to ask something simple. Can we prove this is to the scientist fellow? He seems like a reasonable guy and well-spoken as well. Can we prove something simple like a straight line?
Mathematically, you could. But
How would you go about doing it?
Are you talking about a straight line on a piece of paper? That you've got some problems there that you could go into if you want to talk about the physics of the line itself. But if you're talking about mathematically 2 points being intersected, creating a straight line, yeah, there's a mathematical proof for that.
So we can prove. So what would you? How would you explain it? Like in your words?
The shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line in math.
Perfect.
Only
Beautiful.
in math?
Yeah.
But that's a mathematical proof. It's not a straight. I can show you the shortest distance between 2 points on a chessboard is not a straight line.
Yes, it is.
How that's interesting. How would you go? How would you go about that?
Because the shortest distance between 2 points on a chessboard, you can go across the chessboard diagonally and then come back diagonally and still reach the same square on the other side of the board. This is a king I'm talking about. Than going straight across. You cover the same number of squares, but you're not going in a straight line. You're going in 2 straight lines.
Two straight. I'm lost here. You mean you're moving sideways instead of up and down on the squares, and somehow that's. Can you elaborate a little bit?
I'm sharing my screen to show you.
It's a diagonal. SE.
No, you're not.
A diagonal's a straight line. This guy's an idiot.
Oh, okay. You're doing it now.
All right, let's take an empty board.
Sorry, it begs the question: if Dave's offering $150,000 for proof of the globe, and the Globers don't even believe in proof, why is he offering it in the first place?
All right, so the white king wants to get to H5 from here all the way across the board to here. Let me see if I can make the line.
Have a look in the live chat.
You're sharing like a window, not the board.
I was given that today.
All right, you see how I have them going straight across the board?
You're not sharing your board.
No, you're not sharing. We're just seeing your mouse moving.
Got it. I'll fix it.
Seeing your event viewer or whatever this is.
Where's Wally or Bibby?
What the hell is that?
Okay, you have the king on the board. Let me go ahead and draw a line and show you where I want to go with this king, the white king.
Doesn't this look familiar, huh?
7 moves straight across the board.
Weird, huh?
And 7 moves in that direction also to go across the board.
Guys are so bad. Shortest
so that's an
distance
example of a king using
line
2 straight lines to get to
points.
the same distance. Of course, that's a trick. Actually, it's the demonstration that in chess you can start calculating without having to go in a straight line in order to intercept something. But in geometry,
Yeah, but wait a minute. I see 3 lines here.
Yeah, that's what I said. The second line here. Let's make it a different color.
This is way too obvious.
Mm-hmm. It's the way they're going to try and confuse it. Straight line. Like, I mean...
Okay, we'll go to the white square.
Really?
To the white square. So that's 6 moves to get to that white square across the board.
6 moves.
Okay.
And 6 moves to go straight across. All I'm demonstrating is it's 2 straight lines to go the same distance on a chessboard as it is going straight across. It's a time. It's actually time, not not distance. Because if you were to actually measure this, the lines going down and back up again, they're actually the total of those 2 are longer than the straight line going across. But the amount of time used is 6 moves to get to the get to the same square, regardless of which direction you go.
Okay, so what are you trying to say here exactly?
I was just when you said that it's a proof that the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line, I said not in everything, and that's why I demonstrate it's not a proof anymore, because now we have two lines getting to the same distance.
just
But with time,
But they're both straight lines, right? They're both straight lines.
Correct, but they're not the shortest distance. I went a long ways to get to the
Which
same
one is
point
the
in the
shortest
same amount of time without speeding up.
What is this? Hold on, I'm watching your stream just now.
this
I got
guy's
in
a
late.
scientist,
What are you trying to say?
I was demonstrating to him that, okay, if you go straight across, it takes 6 moves to get from H5 to B5. However, if you go diagonally down to G4, G4, F3, E2, D3, and C4, and then back up to B5, same number of moves, but a longer way of traveling, and you still get there. And that's time versus.
Okay, so that
You could implement that in real life too.
Hold on.
Let's say I'm so glad that you used chess to make this point, Angelo, because it's so clear and simple now. Brilliant.
All I wanted to do was
ridiculous.
show
Jen was
him.
mocking you. Hold on. You made two. Listen.
It's not
green
new.
line
Jen
is
does
the
it all
straight.
time.
Green line is the straight line going from A to B, right? That's the straight line, right?
Yeah. No, going from H to B is a straight line across.
Where the green line is, each point, each A to B on a green line. It's your straight line, shortest distance. You're telling me the distance diagonal is shorter?
No, it's longer, but they're two straight lines instead of one.
Because this is fucking stupid.
It's not okay. The one going diagonally
Dude.
the one going diagonally gets there in the same number of moves. So you can go a longer distance to get to the same point. What I tried to show and all I was
These
doing
guys
was
will argue
because the guy
anything,
said
right?
the
This,
proof
we know
is
that the
shortest
straight line.
distance
This is always going to
between
happen.
2 points is a straight line
Right?
outside
This
of
guy's a
mathematics.
fucking moron.
And I
Yeah,
said
but
no,
this
it's
was
not.
gonna
Because
happen.
outside of
I
mathematics,
knew
there
when
exists
I
in
asked
chess
Essie to
time
ask
and
him
distance.
this question.
And because you are limited to
purposely.
the number of moves
He's
you
a
can make, number of
scientist.
squares you can move, or number of times you can
This
actually
is
move
how
your
a
piece in a
scientist
turn, which
acts.
is one time. Therefore, the
When
same
asked
number
to
of turns
prove a
gets to the
straight
same
line.
location,
Fucking
going
genius.
the long way around.
It's straight, but we could put it on a chessboard.
You realize when we're talking about shortest distance means you pull out a tape measure or something and measure the distance, right?
Except he said outside
You
of
understand?
math, yes. And if you get out a tape measure, you're doing it mathematically. Okay.
Okay, so you agree the shortest distance would be the shortest number on the ruler, right? The smallest number on the ruler is going to be the shortest
in mathematics,
distance, right?
the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line in mathematics.
me or no?
Outside of mathematics, the shortest distance, you have to include other factors such as time and so forth. This is where a scientist would just sit there and look at you and go, how can you call that a proof? Because the shortest distance between, say, New York and Chicago, you'd have to come
Let me ask him a
to get
question,
there.
Jeremy. Hold on. Are you saying that?
This is ridiculous.
Hold on, Jeremy, please. Are you saying that we can travel a shorter distance between 2 points than a straight line? Is that what you're saying?
Well, let's take a look at quantum tunneling. If you were to collapse space and time,
never mind
you can
quantum
move-
tunneling. In
Hold on.
reality,
It's
are
another
you-
proof. It's another
always a
proof,
tunnel.
or another way to disprove the word proof
That may
of the
be what
shortest
Bob
distance
did.
between two lines. You fold space. If
There
I
you
were to
go.
fold this chessboard over, the king could now just simply drop from H5
secret
to
tunnel
B5
from-
because he's sitting
Yeah,
right
that's
above
what
it.
Bob was doing in his car.
So there is a shorter distance between 2 points than a straight line.
In outside of math itself. Outside of math itself. Now, there's another
In reality,
kind of math.
but in reality,
In reality, outside of math,
I
yes.
can describe one in reality.
Thank you.
Dude,
please
this
go
is
ahead.
so fucked up.
Let him go.
See,
Let him
this
go,
is the
Jeremy.
problem, Jeremy, of additional dimensional thinking. For instance, you take 2 points in time. What's the shortest distance between them?
Time's not a space. When we talk about the shortest distance, we're talking about spatial dimensions. Time is not even a factor in this. Time has no
Actually,
factor
what
in
he
this
just
at all.
spent, what he just spent quite a bit of describing in chess was actually the additional dimension of time and how it actually does actually
Okay,
influence.
that's why I tried to clarify.
So you're
this at
saying,
the
hold on,
beginning.
Jeremy. You're saying using time, we can shorten the distance between 2 points. It being a straight line using time. Is that what you're saying?
Well, for instance, you can pick what you would colloquially call the same point, but it's separated by time, and there is no straight line between them. It's
Oh
the
my
same point.
God.
What do you mean? Can you elaborate? That doesn't make sense to me.
Well, for instance, pick your bed and when you wake up in the morning and your bed at night. There's no distance of a straight line between those 2 points, but there is the separation in the dimension of time.
So you didn't travel no.
That's just how a
For in other words,
scientist
you just
works.
stayed in the same spot and measured time.
Yeah, that's why. Let me clarify,
How does that have anything to do with what we're talking about?
You move forward.
SE, let me just clarify things. When SE said the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line, shortest distance means inches, feet, kilometers, right? Distance, a straight
Actually,
a measurement
no.
of. What do you mean actually no?
To clarify, what you're using is the colloquial description about two-dimensional. Is distance between 2 points.
Distance.
Two-dimensionally.
Distance, feet, inches.
Two-dimensionally.
Millimeters.
When you start going outside of those 2 dimensions, for instance, 3 dimensions, something we're familiar with, it does not necessarily have to be what you would visualize as a straight line.
How would you visualize it?
These guys are.
If it's not a straight line, how would you visualize it? The shortest distance between 2 points. Please go ahead, elaborate.
You can have a line that extends in a third dimension that's not actually what you would refer to as a straight line, but will still be a straight line in the 2-dimensional aspect.
We have a 3-dimensional line.
So you have a 3-dimensional line that is straight, but not straight because it's in 2D now?
Yes, you can take a circle, for instance. When you view it from above, you'll see it's not straight. However, when you rotate it, so you're looking at it with the
Just said yes.
two-dimensional aspect,
on the plane.
it's a straight line.
So how does that change the distance then?
Because the distance along the circle is far straighter than what you would commonly refer to as the diameter distance.
You're fucked.
So you're saying, let me get this straight. You're saying the distance, the circle, like the circle distance is shorter than the straight distance. Is that what you're saying?
Actually, the opposite. I would describe it as the circumference distance along the circle is going to be longer than the diameter distance.
Oops.
And this is a complication about not understanding stuff in additional dimensions.
No, you're not understanding. The way I just said it now, you seen your error and you reversed yourself. That's what you meant to say, right?
You just falsely stated I said something I didn't.
What?
What is the shortest distance between 2 points, please, sir?
Well, if you're talking in the colloquial sense of two-dimensional aspect, it's the straight line. And we just actually demonstrated other aspects that show that not to be the same actual colloquial definition.
No, you didn't.
No, you tried, and then I.
This is from Cambridge. Hold on, SC. Let's try this. This is from Cambridge, right? You guys trust this as a reputable source? Because they say a straight line is the shortest distance between 2 points. They a reputable source enough for you guys, or what? I know you like that shit.
You understand that there's a more general answer, and a straight line, or I'm sorry, the shortest distance between 2 points is a geodesic, and a straight line is the subset of geodesics. Okay.
Call Cambridge.
Distance between 2 points.
Call Cambridge up. They got it fucking wrong.
I was Cambridge disagreeing with what I said.
So, Jeremy, I have a question for you. Would you rather go over the mountain or around the mountain?
What does that have to do with anything?
I don't
You guys are here trying to explain that the shortest distance between 2 points is not a straight line. That's what you guys have been trying to say now for I don't know how long.
Depends on the dimensionality and the geometry involved. For instance, in a spherical surface, the shortest distance between 2 points along that surface is a straight line, which happens to be a great circle. However, we know that in a two-dimensional sense, it's not exactly the same thing.
Yeah, but spherical.
Do you get it?
Non-Euclidean geometry.
Yeah, I get that you're double speaking. You just said a straight line is straight, but is curved, but is actually straight.
Okay, it's not double speak if you don't understand it.
It is double speak.
It's like he doesn't
Well,
understand
please
it, though.
elaborate, because I'm sure everybody here wants to hear how a straight line could be
Not double
curved
speak
and
if
straight at
you
the same
don't
time.
understand it.
Yeah,
I was very
he
specific in
doesn't
the words that I
understand it,
used.
so he doesn't
Yeah.
think
A
it's
straight
double
line in
speak.
spherical geometry is a great circle.
The double don't understand.
That's
So
one
not
example.
straight then. A circle is not
Spherical
straight, correct?
geometry is the surface of a 2D sphere.
Essie, I know you can hear the words that I'm saying, and I know you're choosing to misunderstand the words that I'm using. Let's try this one last time.
This Jedi trick
In
doesn't
spherical geometry,
work
a straight
anymore.
line is a great circle.
Exactly, which makes it not straight, correct?
Wrong.
No.
Incorrect.
You're telling me that I didn't say the word straight line, even though I did.
Okay, dude. All right. Have it your way. You believe what makes you feel good. How's that?
That doesn't have to do with what I believe. You can look it up, and everybody else that can see this on the internet can agree with it.
A circle's a straight line.
Yeah, you can read it right there in spherical geometry. It talks about it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Left lane.
This is not a new definition. It's not something that just came up in the past decade or so. This is something that's been around for centuries.
Yeah, so I said it the way I say it because a geodesic is a general term for any manifold, any surface. A geodesic, for which on a plane, a straight line is a geodesic.
Just to remind or bring to attention that everyone that's listening and didn't hear this from the start, it all began with, do we have proofs or not?
Did I call Cambridge up? My bad, Chike.
Yeah, how about you, Checky?
Good.
What's a proof to you? I think we did this straight line thing to death. I think everybody.
Cambridge and email.
I don't have proofs convincing.
Because you didn't learn anything.
I don't have proofs.
A lot of people are going to need emails sent out because it says that a straight line is the shortest distance between 2 points in a lot of spots. So start sending those emails out.
The thing is, the citation that I brought agreed with Cambridge as well, even if you don't like it.
And what I said agreed with Cambridge as well. It's just no one disagreed with that statement. That statement's just not it's not general. That the statement from Cambridge is not a general statement.
Absolutely.
No, it's a pretty specific statement. They're saying that a shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. Now you guys are saying a curved line is a straight line for some weird reason.
2D
Because there's more examples than just a flat plane, Jeremy. There are more geometries than just on a flat plane. For example, the thing that I mentioned, spherical geometry, a straight line is a great circle. That's the shortest surface distance that you can use to get from one point to another.
Who said surface distance? Why are you making new shit up? We're talking about distance between 2 points on a sphere.
Straight line is a
right?
circle.
That's called a chord.
No, on the
You
sphere.
actually have a word for
not
this.
inside.
In your own geometry, you have a word for this. It's called a chord, and it's a
No.
straight fucking line.
No, you have to leave the surface in order to do the chord. We are talking about along the surface. Get that part right.
So, Doofus, you think a circle is a straight line, correct?
In
No.
spherical geometry, it is, and it's not about what I think. It's about what is definitely published in geometry books around the world.
Okay, so a circle is a straight line. Okay, I got it.
You have to be specific where. A circle, a great circle, is the straightest path you can take.
Just keep agreeing with him.
The straightest path you can take between 2 points on the surface of a sphere.
Just a regular circle.
If you choose to be unspecific, dishonestly,
We're talking about a great circle.
Yeah,
Get
we're
it
very specific. He
Not colloquial.
said 2
So you're
points
not
shortest
saying a
distance. He didn't
circle-
say. Go ahead, Esty. Go ahead.
I just want to hear him say it. Are you saying that a circle is a straight line?
only in the context of spherical geometry.
Okay, fair enough.
Listen,
Everybody
this is
heard him say
fucking-
it. A circle is a straight line in the context of geometry.
Spherical
No, those are the words that I use, SE. You're going to start lying. Let's say it again. So let's say it clearly once more, because you're being a dishonest twat. Let's do it one more time.
Hey, I missed one word. I'm sorry.
But he's fun to laugh at. You got to give him that. He's an
That's a straight line in spherical geometry. Spherical geometry is a very specific term that I used. You can just say geometry again and lie like a son of a bitch.
In spherical geometry, do you have a thing called a chord?
In spherical geometry, typically we're dealing with stuff on the surface.
Okay, so there's no such thing as a chord in spherical geometry?
If you use a chord, you're using
So
something
there's
that
a
is
chord.
not termed. If you use a chord, you're not using something that is termed to be a straight line. That's why it has a different name. That's why they call it a chord.
Okay, is there a such thing? This is a simple yes or no question. Is there such a thing as a chord in spherical geometry? Yes or no?
Yeah, and it's not a straight line because that's,
Okay, yes, there is a chord.
been given a different name.
Okay, do you have straight lines in spherical geometry?
Yeah, and they're called they're segments of a great circle.
Oh my God!
So a great
telling me-
circle is
hold
a
on,
straight
SE.
line again?
Wow.
It always has been in spherical geometry, and you're going to keep trying to dishonestly change the terms of the sentence that I used.
You're telling me in spherical geometry a chord is actually a curved line.
There's no chords.
In spherical geometry, a chord is not what they consider a straight line.
There is no chords.
I mean, it's a chord in spherical geometry is a curved line.
Jeremy,
is there a chord
the
in
straight line?
Chord is a 2D thing.
What was that?
No,
I mean, that's just regular planar geometry there.
Circle in
We're talking
Euclidean
about
geometry
Euclidean.
doesn't exist in spherical.
Yeah, that's a good question. Is a chord a straight line? I'd like to know the answer to that too.
Straight line.
I
don't think it's part of spherical.
Foundations torn away.
In regular
So
geometry.
you don't think?
Regular planar geometry.
You disagree with Curve?
You're not. Of course, everybody disagrees with me. But the
Curve
point
just
is,
said the same thing I said.
We're under no illusion that the straight line that we're talking about with the great circle is in every way identical to a straight line on a 2D flat plane. We're not confused about this. We don't think it's in every way identical. We think that it matches the definition, which is the shortest distance along the curved surface.
This is how far.
Now,
they are
another way to
behind.
put it is, in
Live chat.
spherical geometry, a geodesic is analogous to a straight line
they're
in
obviously way
planar geometry. That's a simple way to put it. It's a truthful statement as far as I'm concerned. I'll fight anybody to the death over that. It's not a problem.
Wow, thank you. You guys have been very cordial. I have one more question, if I may.
No, it's Lail time.
No, please.
I
Come
thought
on.
we could test the retardation.
One question,
All right,
one
fine.
question, and
Get
I'll
it
shut
over
up.
with.
I'll go away.
Yeah, get it over with, SC.
Thank you, Curve. Did non-Euclidean geometry supersede Euclidean geometry? Like, is it bye-bye?
Hell no.
They're discussing two totally different domains. So one would not supersede the other unless the context of whichever one.
All right, if we're dealing with a sphere.
They're discussing two different geometries, two different domains.
We deal with a sphere. Are we dealing with spherical geometry? If we have a sphere and we're trying to do some geometry with it, are we now doing spherical geometry?
No,
You're discussing the surface.
You can do it in Euclidean, or you can do it in spherical. Right? If I give you, it highlights how little they know about anything equals R squared. That's Euclidean. Or I can give you latitude and longitude. That's spherical. Whatever geometry you want to use.
All right, where does it have these spherical? Where does it have these spherical geometry rules? Where's all your shit laid out at?
I've answered your question, Jeremy.
It sounds like you need to read more up about the Euclidean and non-Euclidean geometry.
Hold on. Jeremy doesn't have the password.
Yeah.
This is secret knowledge that you don't have access to, Jeremy.
Okay, so you guys think that the surface of a sphere is 2D, right? 2D. We know 2D is not. Right. So we know 2D is not. We know it's not, but we know 2D is not reality. We live in 3D. So this doesn't even this.
Oh, you don't.
Shortest distance.
The surface. That concept. The surface of a sphere is an abstract concept. It is 2D. That's a fact.
I traverse and navigate.
The fact that it's not, but okay. Anyways, go ahead.
We're not talking about the physical matter of the surface of the Earth. We're talking about the abstract concept of surface of a sphere. The location of all points, equidistant from a common center point. That's the surface of the sphere.
I only use two dimensions everywhere I go. 2 dimensions.
But wouldn't
this is great, man. We're having a great convo. I'd like to hear some more opinions on proof if anybody wants to to give their opinion.
Only if it involves math, because I've said this time and time and again, and then I got censored for it. That I said math has proofs, science does not, and that's a fact.
But hold on, didn't we come to the conclusion that with the water and the head chopping off that we just proved two things?
No, that was consensus.
So you think there's a chance if we
That's
chop?
proof.
So you think there's a chance if we chop someone's head off, they're not going to die?
No,
Then
but
we can
it's
come
not.
to the conclusion.
That proven? I
The
mean, how many
problem
people
is
they sent to
you're
the
trying to use the
guillotine?
word. Hold on a second. SE, you're trying to use the word proof again when we've already come to the conclusion that that's not the word you're supposed to use in that context.
You're banning words now? Is your name Bob or something?
Well, Jeremy, I can
This
give you an
is Gem
experiment.
server. Shout out to Gem, by the way.
Jeremy, I can give you an experiment where you cut off a guy's head and he survives. But we have to use a little bit of thought here. What if he had in his body, because technology had advanced enough in the future, that he suddenly had nanobots that could completely seal the wound and keep his head from falling off?
What's this now? Is this the end of the proof?
You gotta be kidding, right?
It's
The reason it doesn't prove
Alice in
things.
Wonderland.
Right? If I said to you,
It
you cut
doesn't
someone's head
prove
off.
that he's going to die. It's just
Because the next experiment, he
Nanobot
might
technology.
live. Right? How are you going to
Well,
prove that he's
no.
not going to die?
I think he's going to live.
He's going to live.
No, I don't think he's going to live. I'm telling you, how do you prove that he won't? You're just going to say, I'm going to kill 1 million people and cut 1 million heads off, right?
Done that. We've cut millions of heads off. How many people got sent to the
Right.
guillotine or in sword
And
fights and
how
all kinds
are
of
you
shit throughout
going to
history?
prove?
Muted
how are you
constantly.
going to prove that the
We're
next
talking
one?
about science.
Prove that
I
the
get,
next
I get
one's going to
asked a
die.
question, I start answering it, next thing you know.
Yeah.
Apologies.
Anyways, go ahead, SE. My bad. SE, go ahead.
No,
How you
this
been?
is good. I mean, he wants to chop every head off, so we can prove that the next one won't die. I mean, somehow in his head, the next guy might survive. Yeah.
Where do you go from
Where
there?
do you make you make your problem someone else's? You're the one who's saying that there's definite proof that it will definitely kill somebody. You're the one suggesting that we have no way for that to be
Suggest
false.
not going down that route for proof next time.
Yeah.
100.
This is why we don't do
that
proof
have had their heads
in
cut
science,
off. Have
SE.
I think what you guys are claiming to be proof when you're using that to word, in science they used to call that a law, which laws can be shown to be not true. There's nothing that says they can't be.
Did you see
but
this
they're
coming?
shown to have always been true in the past. So
Has to.
it's not necessarily proof, but that's the way in which you're using the word
But
proof.
instead of me, yeah, you're right, Kosho. But instead of me or Kosho,
can't have
yeah.
proof.
How about you, Kosho? For example, you didn't give your opinion. What's a proof to you, bro? You're a big voice here in the community. I'm sure people are dying to hear your opinion.
No, they're not. But people already said if they saw pictures of the flat Earth, if I saw the sun move at the correct rates, and subsolar point move at correct rates throughout the year, things like that. There's probably 1,000 things that would show me that is
sun
true.
moves at correct
and I wouldn't use the word
rates.
proof even then.
That would be a proof.
So there's no proof for Kosho, no such thing as proof.
Yeah, subsolar.
A lot of these guys think like that. You can't prove anything. There's no, you know,
He
even
just told
simple
you
things.
some. Show that the sun moves over the Earth at the
Yeah,
speeds
but then
that
he
it
said-
should on a flat Earth.
Yeah, but then he said he doesn't, Jake. That there's no
No, I
such
said
thing
it
as
would
proof.
show me that it's true. I just wouldn't use the wrong. You're using the wrong term. People trying to tell you that. I'm not going to engage in that wrong term.
This
But in the way in
model
which you're
affliction,
using
this is bad model
proof,
affliction.
I said you can use the word law. You can use whatever
What's
you
the
want.
difference,
Just one word.
Kosho? What's the difference if I prove water exists and water existing is true? What's the difference between those two statements?
Well, there's in the domain in which we're talking about the word theory, the word proof. These words have distinct meanings, so we can use them incorrectly and engage with each other.
Yeah,
know each other-
the
each other's
sentences I
pain,
just
but-
said.
What kind of
The
answer was
sentences
that?
I just said. What's the difference between the two of them? Water existing is true, and water existing has been proven.
I'll say it again.
Yeah.
You can
For the
use the words
sake of
wrongly.
you guys not being stubborn,
Yeah, he's
blatantly
stuck in it.
stubborn.
They're never going to get out
use
of
the
that,
word proof.
right?
Okay, just
One
know
is
that it's
independent
against
of our human minds. Something true doesn't require a human mind to be able to prove it.
How
It's
about
just
you,
true.
Rohit? What's proof to you, Rohit?
But definitions are meaningless.
Proof doesn't exist in science. Proof exists in mathematics with already, accepted axioms.
No, to you, Rohit, to you, not in
Me.
science or math.
Well,
to
to
Rohit.
me, yeah, enough evidence to be compelling. That's my sort of colloquial definition of proof.
Lots of it.
What's evidence?
Stuff,
I'm going to need 12 evidences, please.
And disconfirm other hypotheses.
He just said, "What's evidence?"
Through
Stuff.
experimentation or just observation?
Just lots of stuff. That'll do.
12
Something
stuff.
that you can show somebody and have him
Lots of
repeat it,
videos from gypsies.
and he can show. And
This is
something
like-
like that. Is that what you're saying?
These are adults.
I don't use the word proof for it.
The man-child's.
But evidence is an observation that matches an expectation or a prediction if some hypothesis was true and disconfirms some other hypothesis.
Disconfirms.
I think we agreed on something for the first time in
What
history. Rohit.
Wow.
What's going on here?
Don't know.
Bro, he's butchering my English language over here.
Okay.
This confirms.
Disconfirmation.
I want you to
I am
disconfirm what
speechless.
I have just said.
The excitement is killing me.
It's overwhelming.
Bro, my head is hurt trying to figure this out.
There's no project.
So,
It's-
bullshit.
the project is
like
finding out
FC.
what.
Job done.
If somebody flew you to the South Pole in December and you saw the 24-hour sun, would that be proof of a spherical Earth?
No, it would be proof of a 24-hour sun if I saw it with my own eyes.
So how would that be possible on a flat Earth?
Yeah, the sun's going around you in a
Good
circle.
answer.
You're obviously not at the
When
North
we get
Pole
to that
because it's
point,
December.
We'll have to evaluate at that point, but that's not what we're talking about. I'm talking about what proof is for an individual. Like, how about you? Waz?
Oh, SE's gotten so much better
Good
at keeping them.
To me,
Yeah.
This is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. He's up to he knows their tricks.
I'm not entirely sure because I haven't seen any proof of a
Once
flat
you've
Earth.
seen behind
How
the
would
curtain,
what would
it's
you
over.
consider proof of a flat Earth or a non-spherical Earth?
Yep.
Not here to argue
Model
proofs and
reflection.
stuff. We can do that on another day, and we've done it many times. I want to know what
Just see the
proof
model
is
affliction
to
and
you
point it
was.
out.
Ruhif just said it. I mean, wow, I almost fell over. But I'm asking you, what's your proof to
Sounds like
you?
Waz asking the same question.
Yeah, Kosher,
Overwhelming
you didn't
evidence
answer, by the way, Kosher.
would
You
be-
skirted it. You didn't answer.
Overwhelming. I'm trying to. Overwhelming evidence would be good enough for me.
Overwhelming evidence.
What's evidence?
What do you mean? What's evidence?
Yeah, like what would be?
What do you mean?
You said the
Before
word.
we go down that track, is this why you're having troubles presenting any of it for FE?
I'm not having any troubles. I'm merely asking a question.
That's the trouble. Yeah. So what's evidence?
That's the
Just
question I
ask the
asked you,
question
bro.
back to the guy
Yeah,
that
that's,
just asked
yeah,
you.
that's
Ruhif
in the
just answered it.
imaginometry. That.
Oh, that-
Ruhif
yeah.
answered it. Not Kosho, by the way.
Subversal, we call it.
Subversal.
A sophersal, yeah. A mixture between sophistry and a reversal
tough,
of the
I know,
question
Waz.
that
It's
you
tough.
asked.
It's a tough question, bro.
I'm
I
just
know.
trying to think of how to put it into words for you.
Not for me, for you.
Bro, that was.
Oh, for me, it's fine. Evidence is enough experimentation, enough observation that comports to reality. Being able to build
This
a
guy's
model
clueless
of
too.
something would be evidence.
Enough.
I suppose, from observation.
What?
Observation,
Keeping it-
experimentation.
Just
You know,
enough.
reasonably.
You know.
You don't understand enough.
Yes, the expectation. There is
Sounds
an
good to me.
I
expectation.
can't help you if you don't
prediction,
understand enough.
Like,
So
pretty-
if you
pretty
can make a
elementary.
if you can make a series of
Wow, when they have to go off script, bro,
build
that
a
is
model of
bad.
that and make a reasonable prediction in the future, I reckon that would be pretty good evidence.
And can you pass that to somebody else and have them repeat it?
Well, obviously
It's like,
not,
what is
because
proof?
we have people
Evidence.
that believe the Earth's flat
No, that's
and
evidence.
don't accept it.
What's
We're
proof?
not talking about the earth here. We're just talking
enough.
evidence in
Yeah.
general.
I'm
enough
talking about
evidence.
yes, that's all that matters here.
All right. Your
Can I say
answer is
something?
duly noted. Thank you.
I apologize to everybody in the room that's not SE.
What's yours?
You're a deaf fuck. Because I gave you fucking my answer to the question. Don't fucking lie and say I didn't.
Kosho's losing it.
Maybe I missed it, Kosho. It
So
didn't
what's
sound like
yours,
an answer
SE?
to me.
What's yours, SE? You asked me the question. What's yours? What's your
Well,
evidence for
mine
proof of evidence,
coincides with
explanation?
Mine, strangely enough,
Well, give it to me in
with,
your words.
Well, it has to be something that you can demonstrate, right? It's repeatable. And you can pass it to somebody else and show him, explain to him, and then he can repeat it and see for himself. That's the best thing I can come up with.
Is that what you said, Ruhif?
Not quite.
It's a little off.
Yeah.
Well, then tell me the difference in what you said, Ruhif, please.
So it technically doesn't matter whether you can pass this, whether it's repeatable or not. It doesn't really matter. I mean, it would be nice.
Whoa.
Whether you can pass it off to someone else also doesn't really matter. It could just be evidence for you.
Okay, so then we differ in that aspect. All right, fair enough.
Sticking with the relativism.
I'm having it. It's my proof.
Yeah,
You
but
can't
evidence
have
in my
it.
book is some observation or experiment
I shall not
that
cast my
matches
pearl
a
before the
prediction. So
swine.
what would I expect if this hypothesis is true? I see that in reality. That's evidence for my position. And it has to also be a distinct prediction from some other model. Like if both model, like a flat Earth model and a globe model predict the same thing, then whatever observation you do is not going to be evidence for either, right?
Right. Can your final result be two things that contradict each other? Or must it be conclusive?
What do you mean by conclusive?
That they don't contradict
Well,
each
do you
other.
have verification? I mean, how do you, what, is it true? Is it not?
Do you mean congruent?
You can't have two contradictory hypotheses. You know, have evidence for two contradictory things, right?
Straight line now.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay,
Dude,
good.
Do it.
Yeah.
All right.
But
Perfect.
any observation has to support only one model. All right, so it's our claim that every single observation done anywhere in the world is possible under a globe model. Because if you find one contradiction, it disproves the model, right?
It's a straight line, the shortest distance.
Well, I wasn't talking about models, but yeah, I guess sure.
Well, yeah, but under my definition, you have to make some sort of prediction or expectation, so you need a model for that.
Come on, SE.
I'm cooking. I'll be back in 5 minutes.
Thank you, Ruhif. How about anybody else want to take a crack at what proof is? This is interesting. You got to admit, guys, right?
Silence.
Yeah, I don't personally mind talking about the word proof as long as it's understood to be a colloquial term that we're just saying proof to me is something like that. But you know, due to the conversations in this community, it's forced the scientific conversations to eliminate the word proof altogether.
I don't know why people have a hard time left lane with proof here. Can I prove to you that once you fill up your truck and you drive it over a certain period of time, you run out of gas? Can I prove that?
Well, I think it's because we've just. Sorry, Kurt. Go ahead.
Well, just what use of proof are you using? I went through this shit with A4 years ago. And I mean, I understand proof in math, and I believe logic, and of course alcohol. But I mean, there is proof, like in a court of law, you know, to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. There are other uses of the word. You got to be clear on which use you're using. But yeah, I mean, we could talk about proof in a non-scientific sense, non-mathematical sense. It's out there. It exists. Something to the effect of what I'm thinking is proof is you know, evidence that compels the mind to accept something as true. Something
He's
like that.
Googled that.
Am
Come
I off on
on.
that? Maybe I don't remember
That was weak.
exactly right.
That was
Right.
real
Right.
weak. He's just
It was
sat there and
preponderance,
Googled that.
preponderance of the evidence that compels one to believe something is true.
Oh, there you go.
But that sounds good, but you're using proof and evidence interchangeably here. So you would need a
because
definition.
because we've learned like take for example, imagine there was a criminal trial, right?
Essie is good.
And the guy says, "No, I was innocent. I have this alibi." And then he shows this videotape from the security camera of a bar where he's sitting there at the bar during the time that the murder happened, right? And then here's the witnesses, and we marched witness 1 through 10 that all saw him there at the bar that testified to it, right? And so then the jury would say, "Wow, well, it's beyond any doubt. There's no way he did the crime because he wasn't there at the time, right?" But little did we know he had a long lost brother that no one knew about. Kind of like at the ending of The Prestige, right? Where you find out that two guys were living one life, right?
What about
So
if
it's
a
just
guy's
because
looking
there's
at a
been so
circle
many
from top
instances
down and the other one's
in
looking at it
science
from the
where
other
things
way,
like that
and
have
one says it's
happened
straight and one says it's curved.
that we don't use that word proof, right? Because ultimately there's nothing that's irrefutable. I mean, ultimately it could just be a delusion, or we could be in the Matrix or something, right? So,
Well, a short answer, SE, to what you just asked, I believe, is, I mean, evidence is like the collection of information that would be considered to be proof. It's enough to compel you to believe that whatever it is that you're collecting the evidence for is true. Does that make any sense to you?
Absolutely, yeah. Makes a lot of sense to me, yep. Fair enough answer.
And in this debate, that level, the threshold at which something compels you is subjective, right? And that's where flat earthers' brains are broken.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and there's also the reason why
model affliction.
In science we want things to be falsifiable. That's specifically why we don't use the word proof. Things have to be something that can be falsified.
What? They have to be falsified.
Did you give your definition, Doofus?
I think I basically just did. You can't use proof in science.
You can't prove
That's
it, but you
not
can
a
prove it
definition.
false.
Works for me.
Come on, everybody was bold. Even curved came out of the woodshed. Come on now. You're not going to give your opinion here. Seriously.
I can definitely say what I can disprove. Those are things I can definitely do.
Wow.
Yeah.
But
This
the
is very
question
telling,
is
isn't
proof,
it?
sir.
Very, very, very.
Yep. And in the context
I
of
believe
conversations
something.
and dealing with reality, I don't
And the
use the
other
word
stuff I can
proof.
disprove.
let me ask you.
Yeah.
Specifically because I deal in things that can be falsified. That's the thing, is I need you to go out and find me an example where what I'm saying is not true. For instance,
What?
this thing that I just posted, for some reason the server decided
So
not to
ambiguous.
make an embed for. Refraction through a gradient where the highest density is below bends light downward, making things look higher up than they actually are. On a flat Earth, it would look concave. We don't see that.
Bends light downwards that makes things appear higher. I mean, is that not
you
a
don't want to give your
contradiction?
explanation. Fair enough.
Well, like,
Fairly certain.
I'll give you an example. Ghosts, right?
Oh,
We've got
God.
eyewitness testimony.
Ghosts.
Lots of eyewitness testimony of
Oh,
people
Ranty.
reported having seen ghosts. Is that proof to you that ghosts exist?
Not to me, no. Not to me.
Okay, that's not proof. There's also lots of pictures of, blurry, like blurry, hazy spots, and even like translucent looking people that like you can kind of see through them, but you can also see a person there that they say, this is the ghost I saw. Is that proof to you?
No.
No, that's not proof to me, bro. No, obviously.
Okay. But at what point is something, that's why proof is so subjective, right? I mean, we would say that's evidence, right? Like that picture that's submitted, right, that's evidence. And the eyewitness testimony, that's evidence too. It may not be the best evidence, but it's still evidence, right?
You think a
So-
picture of a ghost will go far in as proof in a court of law?
Well, it would depend, right?
That's a different proof, isn't it? Court of law is a different type of proof.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, exactly. It's subjective, really, if you think about it, right?
well, that's why this whole conversation is subjective, right? That's why
We went
in
looking
science we
for
don't talk
proof
about
and
proof.
found a ghost.
we will.
Over a gem server.
You know, someone will present a paper in science, and then they'll make their case, right? This is my evidence. This is the data I've gathered, and this is my conclusion. But a lot of scientists will look at that same thing. I mean, half the scientists will say this is not conclusive. There's not enough evidence here, and other people say, okay, I'm convinced that this guy's right. So, for one group, they'd say that's proof that what the guy's saying is true, and for the other group, it's not proof.
Yeah, that's consensus, agreement by consensus.
Well, no, it's not agreement by consensus, no, because you still have the two groups splintered, right? And right now in science, especially in the theoretical sciences, right, quantum mechanics and things like that, there's quite a few things where there's no consensus, right? Or some where there's still a majority consensus. I mean, even global warming, right? Most scientists agree in global warming, but you still have a percentage of them that don't. There's no consensus there.
Agreed. Therefore, there's no proof. Agreed.
Well, that's getting away from the point now, right?
In a way, but in a way it is. See, consensus is not proof. And a lot of science
Because for some people
seems to be done through consensus.
For some people, something that's like very unbelievable. Like imagine a UFO came down
What if you see
on
a
a town,
lumberjack?
and every single person in the town not only saw it, they live streamed it on their iPhones. They took pictures. You literally have 1,000 different people saw it in the other testimony. 1,000 iPhones videotaped it, live streamed it, yada yada yada, right? But and then the UFO disappeared, right? And we saw and we could see the holes in the ground where the landing legs buried themselves in, right? We could see that too. But for most people, because of how unbelievable that story is, that would still not be proof. Even though we have lots of really good evidence, right? For most people, they would be more than happy to agree if it was something else. For a lot of people, unless they saw it with their own eyes, they wouldn't believe it, right?
Yeah. Agreed.
All right, but Jake, you know that the best proof we have for ghosts is the EVP, right?
Ranty.
Yeah, the
Ranty's
EVP
best proof
is
of
pretty
a ghost,
compelling.
isn't
Yeah,
it?
where's the lumberjacks?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to argue with.
Who you going to call for one of those?
They're
You
making a
need your
case for ghosts.
Ghostbuster. No one's going to believe that, right?
Ghostbusters.
So I don't see. That's the whole thing. Is there's no universal definition of proof, which is why the word is very loaded.
Yeah, it's a very interesting thing. It's a very interesting question. And thank you guys for the conversation. And I wish more guys would get into it and answer like what they think.
It's kind of similar to what is a straight line, and that depends on the context.
Yeah, is Ruhif here? Ruhif, are you back? Did you eat yet?
But it did seem like you wanted to ignore context and try and create a sort of a win from a technicality.
What win?
No, absolutely not. I just wanted the opinion.
Well, it did get hung up on these definitions of straight lines and things like that, didn't it? And ultimately, I keep pointing this out. It must be getting boring, but you are supposed to care about what's actually true in reality, not what you can get off with by playing some word game. You're supposed to actually want to know what the truth is.
Word games with me.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to do here by asking you guys what proof is, so we can move forward.
Well done,
So
Jeff.
saying over and over again about what was it? A great circle is a straight line. That was a word game, wasn't it? It's not a genuine It's not a genuine attempt to understand reality. It's a way to try and win an argument on the internet. And you should
that part, I guess, got a little bit sidetracked, but
you should reflect on why that's the overriding goal.
there is no overriding goal.
Well, it wasn't.
You guys believe in something, we question the belief, and we have back and forths. I mean,
in that particular part of the conversation, it wasn't it? The point was to try and best someone with the definition of a word.
Oh, they're the
which
victims
has
now?
absolutely no.
Poor Jim.
Doesn't even take a sniff at what's actually true in reality.
Yeah,
It's
circles
just
aren't straight lines in reality, Jem. We know that.
trying to win an internet word game.
right, kind of like what you're trying to do now, right?
Well, no, I'm pointing out what I think is a tactic that we see very too often these days in Flat Earth, and I think many of you have lost your way. In the early days,
Model affliction.
I used to hear Flat Earthers use the term truth seeker a lot.
Yes, he's not
I
a
hardly
flat
ever hear that
earther.
now. I
What is
wonder
he
why that
talking about?
is.
Come on, Jem.
I don't know. I thought we had a cordial, nice conversation tonight, Jem.
That's true, but it's still involved at least one of these word games. I think Jeremy had another little one there as well that he was brewing up.
I love word games.
And I know you do, Piz, and you know, you're welcome to play them anytime you like. But yeah, I mean that's just my view, Essie. It's what I
Fair
see
enough.
a lot of.
All I was saying is that a circle is not a straight line. Now, I don't know why that upset you.
Well, I've told you why. Because you were trying to win an argument based on the definition of a word, and you don't really care about what's true in reality. It was just about trying to get him to say certain words in a certain order, so you could then mock those words. It wasn't about trying to understand the truth of reality.
So you're getting into my head now, interpreting what I think. Okay, all right.
No, that's what you were doing. You actually mocked what he said. You said, so let me get this straight. You did all that. Don't try and pretend that you didn't do. Don't try and pretend that.
Don't you find that if somebody...
Essie, let me make this clear to you. The position that you have to hold. The Earth isn't flat. You can't come in here or go anywhere and engage in honest discourse while you hold the position that it is flat. It's not flat. Pretending that it is, you can't be honest. It's not possible because the truth is it's not flat.
Model affliction. Yeah, we know
So
it's not flat. Don't
all
worry
you
about
have
it, Jem.
is these sort of things. This is all you have at your disposal. We don't expect anything better. It's just different varieties
He's
of
obsessed with
dishonest
flat
approaches.
earthers. I mean, like, we know
The
it's
honest
not flat,
approach
Jem.
is,
Come on.
how do I understand this? What is an actual great circle? What does that mean? Where do we use it? How is it used? Not to just try and get someone to say, a circle's a straight line.
Doesn't matter how great a circle is, it's not a fucking straight line.
Let me go back to other servers and tell them that he said a server's a straight line. I could get Flatzoid to put it in a little video.
You know, it's just...
You sound like one of those cartoon characters.
It's word games, Montreal. It has nothing to do with what's true, and that should bother you.
Jem, I wasn't the one that said a straight line is curved. Now, if that triggers you, bro, that's not my fault.
Yeah,
I was very polite.
Except you were doing it right now because he didn't say that. He was very specific, corrected you probably 3 or 4 times.
He said a great
on
circle
what he
was a
actually
straight
said,
line.
and now you've just gone and deliberately
He
misquoted
confirmed
him,
it.
and your tone is mocking. You are mocking as you're saying it.
Now
you don't care whether great circles are a necessary part of everyday life, or say a pilot or a ship's captain. You don't give a fuck. That this is an actual part of reality, a real thing that people have to use in their jobs every day
to get other human beings from place to place safely. You don't give a fuck about any of that because you want to play word games. You go, ha ha, he said a circle's a line. Ha ha, I win.
Mocking.
You don't care what's true, and you should.
Okay, Jeff. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. Look, I'm laughing. I'm sorry, but you're cracking me up. So we'll end it. We'll end it like this. I don't want it to get out of hand. Thanks for having me. Happy New Year, everybody.
Don't you run away. I'm not done with you. One question.
What's up, Curved?
All right, if you dare to answer. A circle, not a disc, a circle. Is it flat or is it curved?
A circle?
Yes.
Is a constantly curving surface.
Constantly curving surface. Is it
I don't
flat
think it is.
or is it curved?
I just
by
told you,
definition,
a circle
Yes,
is
sir.
not a
2D flat.
straight line. A
I
straight line
didn't ask
is
you
a
that.
straight
I
line,
didn't ask you that.
and a
Is a
circle
circle flat or curved? Focus on the question. Is
curved,
it flat or curved?
curved.
Is it flat?
It's curved.
Is it flat?
Did you draw it on a piece of paper?
It doesn't matter. A circle, the set of all points equidistant from a common center point in a 2D plane, that's flat. Now it's also curved. It's flat and curved. I want you to sleep on that.
Oh wow, he just took it.
All
Took a
right.
2D shape. and
Have
tried to
a good
equate it to
night,
2D
everybody.
surface.
Happy New Year.
Good
Happy
night,
truth
SA.
seeking. Happy truth seeking, I see.
Wow.
Same to you, Jem. Sorry if I triggered you, bro. I didn't mean to.
Nope. Terry!
Why do globe earthers hate truth seeking?
Because
If you enjoyed the content, please support On the Level and future projects. Membership subscriptions available now, or come and get involved at Next Level Discord server. Thank you.
Right, this video is being uploaded, re-uploaded, because there is, I've had to cut out references to a video that I'm not allowed to put in the video, but it is freely available on YouTube. Be aware.
And due to some things that happened on this server, I've got to get going. I need to leave it.
Why? What's happened? Come on, elaborate.
I've been doxxed,
On this
and I don't
server?
appreciate it. Yes, on
On
this
this
server.
server? Do you want
Yes.
to prove that, Bob?
Yeah. What
Yeah.
are you talking about, Bob?
No, I've been doxxed on this server.
What
in
do
the
you
chat. I
mean,
sent
Bob? That's a big
Look in the chat.
accusation. That's a big accusation, Bob. What do you
Look in the
mean
chat.
by being doxxed? You're Bob, the science guy.
Yeah, and I'm not a particular individual that works for a particular company that testified before the House on an issue. All right, I don't appreciate having that put in.
Are you talking
That
about
doxes
that
me.
video that somebody's posted?
Yeah.
Right, so that video that's on YouTube, you have a problem with the video that's on YouTube, do you?
I have a problem with that video being here, yes.
All right, thanks
Thank you very
for
much.
stopping by, Bob. Thank you very much for inviting me. I will stop by tomorrow, and if you want, we'll go ahead and continue this and see if we can get this sorted out. I Right want on. this clear. All right, take care, guys. All right.
Good. Oh.
Thanks for having me. Well,
Hey, gents, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Well, good morning, everyone.
Yeah, all right. How you doing?
Evening.
I stepped up for that discussion, but a couple of things have come up. Mobius, are you here?
Yeah,
Okay.
I am, but I don't know that I can talk a lot.
All right, we're going to have to meet over on my server because I'm leaving this one. And if you want to, I sent you a link for it. But we can
Why
meet
are you
over
leaving
there.
us
You just
for?
let me know.
Is it a Mobius only thing then?
Yes.
What
Well,
are
I mean, you guys
leaving?
are welcome to come over too. I posted the link everywhere, but I'm
Oh, I
not
just
going
thought
to
you said it was a
us,
Mobius
Bob.
only thing.
You keep
No, I
banning us,
invited
or
him over
is
to
it
my
somebody
server.
else, one of your other mods, that keeps kicking us? Or me, anyway. Is that offer
Well, you're
not
welcome to come
open
over.
everyone?
I don't have an issue with it. You know, just behave yourself and
Who
you're fine.
keeps kicking us from your server then?
I don't kick anybody from your server.
No.
From my server.
Who is then? One of your other mods?
No.
Well, somebody's kicking us from that server because I
As
was
long
in
as you
it.
come over and behave
Now
yourself,
I'm not
you're
in
fine.
it. Yeah, but
I sent you the link. You're welcome to come.
Right.
All right.
Is that so you can
When's this
kick
going to
us?
happen?
I don't know. It's up to Mobius. We were supposed to meet now. I'm all set to go right now, but apparently he's busy. And due to some things that happened on this server, I've got to get going. I need to leave it.
Why? What's happened? Come on, elaborate.
I've been doxxed. I've been doxxed,
On this
and I don't
server?
appreciate it. Yes, on this
On this
server.
server? Do you want
Yes.
to prove that, Bob?
Yeah. What
Yeah.
are you talking about, Bob?
No, I've been doxxed on this server
What
in the
do you
chat. I
mean,
sent
Bob? That's a big
Look in the chat.
accusation. That's a big accusation, Bob. What do you
Look in the
mean
chat.
by being doxxed? You're Bob,
All right.
the science guy.
Yeah, and I'm not a particular individual that works for a particular company that testified before the House on an issue. All right, I don't appreciate having that put in.
Are you talking
That
about
doxes
that
me.
video that somebody's posted?
Yeah.
Right, so that video that's on YouTube, you have a problem with the video that's on YouTube, do you?
I have a problem with that video being here, yes. So,
But it is a
take care,
video
guys.
on YouTube. So do you
It's
have a
not
problem
on-
with the
it's not on
video
my
being
channel.
on YouTube? Bob? Or is he gone?
No, he's gone.
It appears Bob has a problem with the video on YouTube. Now, Bob blames us for that video being on YouTube.
Well done.
Well, I had some flat earther idiot dox me not long ago. And, he put out some information that I'm certainly not ashamed of or anything. But, you have to wonder. I'm a rather strategic guy. I wonder if he ever considered the idea that maybe there might be a sock account out there that maybe even did a super chat or became a member of one of his channels to earn his trust that was feeding him this stuff in the hopes that he would screw up and post it on his channel and get his channel taken down. God, that would be devious, wouldn't it? Just food for thought.
So that's it then.
What video?
Well, he said it's in the chat, so I'd have a look through the live chat.
Oh. Got Lauren Hardy. Huh?
Oh, there
Yeah,
you
that'll
go.
be the one.
That one.
Bob the Science Guy.
Dr. Bob. Dr. Bob.
Oh, is that him?
That's that
Oh.
video. Yeah. He doesn't like the fact that video is on YouTube and somebody's posting it.
I'm not a particular individual that works for a particular company that testified before the House on an issue. All right, I don't appreciate having that put in.
Are you talking
That
about
doxes
that
me.
video that somebody's posted?
Yeah.
He's not proud of
Not our problem.
himself. He's not proud of himself. That.
Doesn't represent that company, apparently.
Oh, okay.
Where was this posted, Bev?
Posted in the live chat right now. Posting a video is now what Bob considers super snowflake doxing, apparently. He's got his name on the
What?
fucking front thing of the thumbnail.
It's his video. How does that work? Right, if you put a video out there, that's out there.
It was none of us that put that video out, so it's got nothing to do with this server.
In the hopes that he would screw up and post it on his channel and get his channel taken down. God, that would be devious, wouldn't it? Just food for thought.
Well, that was weird. I guess he wasn't gonna be talking over here anyway, even if I was available. So, sorry, guys.
All right, dude.
Crazy rambling madmen do have moments of clarity, it appears.
Yeah, but he's not proud of showing that side of him off. He has to stay as a hard glober.
Looks like Matey from 40 Towers.
What, John Cleese?
That's him.
Does he really?
There's certain times where he turns his head. I'm watching the video.
I'm not bothering.
Just reminds me of... Yeah, I've got no sound. I'm just looking at him. A fair few years ago, crikey. I'll get a grip. But
I wonder who found that anyway.
it's on the internet, though. That's the thing.
It's on YouTube. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Public
You have to go and have a word with that bird who's put it out. I don't know who she is.
I'm not a particular individual that works for a particular company that testified before the House on an issue. All right, I don't appreciate having that put in.
Are you talking about that video that somebody's posted?
Yeah.
Yeah, he wants to. Well, that's what I was saying. He wants to have a word with YouTube because it's on YouTube. I mean, what's he saying? That we can't post videos that are on YouTube in this channel. I mean, it's not against anybody's fucking things. It's Bob and his snowflake. He doesn't want people knowing, and I don't know why, but he's not coming to talk to us in this server because that video is on YouTube.
It's on YouTube, yeah.
And it's nothing to do with this server.
Absolutely nothing.
Other than that somebody's posted it in this server.
Well, I had some flat earther idiot dox me not long ago. And, he put out some information that I'm certainly not ashamed of or anything. But, you have to wonder. I'm a rather strategic guy. I wonder if he ever considered the idea that maybe there might be a sock account out there that maybe even did a super chat or became a member of one of his channels to earn his trust that was feeding him this stuff in the hopes that he would screw up and post it on his channel and get his channel taken down. God, that would be devious, wouldn't it? Just food for thought.
I'm not a particular individual that works for a particular company that testified before the House on an issue. All right, I don't appreciate having that put in.
Are you talking about that video that somebody's posted?
Yeah.
But I mean, I think that's the narrative that they want to push, right?
But he's just doxed himself. He's just admitted that is him. If he hadn't have said that, I wouldn't have put the two together.
No, same here.
Also, can I add, I didn't even see the video. I would not even known about the video. Said about it.
Same here.
Literally, yeah.
By the way, if you guys want people to debate, all the guys, and I mean all the guys on Next Level server are
Not
there
allowed here.
waiting. Any
Not
one
allowed
of
here.
you guys that
Those are the people that doxed me. They're not allowed here. All right. We don't support people that dox people. All right. We don't support childish name calling.
Come on.
All
Bob,
right.
you're a public figure. Your videos are out all over the place.
I am
don't
as Bob the
understand why you're on
Science
this
Guy.
dox
I
thing.
am as Bob the Science
Not a
Guy and
public
research
figure.
Flat Moon. Now, let's go ahead and adjust that really quickly. Here's the issue. YouTube is taking down a number of videos of people that doxed me in the flat earth and used it as a weapon against me. I am known well enough in Michigan that I'm easy enough to find. However, you knowing who I am is one thing. You disseminating that information without my permission is doxing. If I wish to tell people in general on my YouTube creator accounts what my address is or what my kids' names are,
or, you know, where I live. That's up to me. It is not up to you. Sean knows my address. Sean knows my phone number. All right? I'm fine with that. If people find that out on their own, that's fine with me. However, I would have words with Sean if he published my address and my phone number without my permission. Simply because you know something does not mean you can make a video and tell other people.
You don't have the right to splurt it just because you know it. I know his address. He knows
Glass
my
knows
address.
who me.
We're
Yeah,
not
Glass
gonna
knows
say
me.
anything.
And that's just the way, that is the rules of engagement, SE. You violate the rules of engagement, I will crush you.
No, I hear you, Bob, but my point is those are public videos that were posted. It's not like somebody posted
It was public
you
videos
barbecuing
that
in
are
your-
not, and to be honest with you, the subject of the video is not something I'm not proud of. As a matter of fact, I'm very glad to, you know, I was glad, you know, the subject of the video was me testifying before the House committee on the inclusion of post-traumatic stress syndrome as a qualifying condition for medical marijuana. Now, I was military, but the worst experience I had in the military was getting yelled at by my drill sergeant and having to do push-ups, okay? I didn't see combat, and I was fortunate with that. I did not suffer from PTSD because I didn't have the social impairment that goes along with PTSD. But I was a paramedic when I was a young man, and I saw things as a paramedic that changed me and gave me many of the symptoms of PTSD for many years. It took about 5 years for me to get through it. You know, and I testified on behalf of civilian PTSD sufferers, because one of the problems that you run into with post-traumatic stress syndrome is suicide, intrusive thoughts, inability to sleep and function, and social impairment. The best way to treat it is with something called cognitive therapy, where you talk through it, and it takes many years to do it, but you have to live long enough to have that happen. And, you know, a lot of people we're getting a lot of suicides from people coming back from the service, from women that have been raped, from folks that have lost children. You know, you lose your marriage. You know, what happens if you see your child ride his bike and then he gets hit by a car and then his head rolls down between your feet? All right, that has happened. And there are people that see things like that, and it destroys their lives, it destroys their marriage. I've seen it happen. And cannabis seems to help that. It helps with the intrusive thoughts, and it helps with getting sleep and things like that. And that's why I came to testify before the House. And I'm not ashamed of that. I think that was a good thing to do. But then we had people like Bev Try Thinking and his little crew over there at Level Up, or Level whatever they call it, that thought it was cute to publish that because it has my full name in it. And it identifies who I am and who I work for. And they thought that it was cute to do that. Well,
Bob, hold on.
You stop, SE. Now it's my turn. Now it's my turn.
Okay, I'll rebut after if you don't mind.
You know you will not. This is my statement. You don't like it, leave the channel. Now, when people use that to release personal information on somebody and encourage their followers to go to that original video and put shit in there about me to damage my professional reputation and personal reputation because I ripped them a new one on their silly flat earth nonsense. All right. Game on, kiddo. All right. One of the things you never really want to see. One of the things you never really want to see is me mad. All right.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the Americans. We're very nice people until you piss us off, and then we will cross a frozen river in the middle of the night and kill you in your sleep on Christmas morning. And yes, we've done it. That's kind of the way I am.
And
Damn, I'm
we will
scared, Bob.
receive
I'm in
no
Canada. I'm close
casualties
by.
in doing
Damn.
so.
All right. So that's
And we-
basically the way. That's why I'm a little upset about doxing right now. And they think it's cute to put that up, and I'm not going to tolerate it. And I hope everybody else does.
I
either.
agree with you on that. I agree. Let me just say one thing. I agree. I'm 100% with you. The thing here is, I don't believe we doxed you because
I don't
you
care what
start
you
your
stop.
videos and
Stop,
you say,
Essie.
I'm Dr. Bob
Stop.
from Northern Michigan.
Essie, stop. I don't really give a rat's ass what you or anybody else thinks. I think you doxed me. That's enough. More importantly, YouTube thinks he doxed me and took the video down as a violation of the term of service. You may not agree with it. You're more than welcome not to agree with it. You can appeal it. But quite frankly, I didn't appreciate it. Now, the reason that I told you I appreciated you to begin with was the fact that you had put that video up where you mirrored his video. And I asked you to take it down, and you didn't agree with me, but you took it down. And I appreciate that. That was the right thing to do. I'm letting YouTube deal with the other one. So, that's that.
Well, I guess you're too triggered for a conversation. Maybe another time.
No, we're not going to have another conversation about this. This is the one and only conversation we're having about this. It's over. It's up to YouTube legal right now. Yeah, Glass.
Hey, Bob.
Or Sean.
And not only will we cross that frozen river in the middle of the night, we will do it in silence, and we will not incur one single casualty.
Well, that was the first was intentional. The second was just sheer luck.
Yeah.
You know, the only reason we got away with it was they were all hungover. And
Unfortunately, we pissed off some people in the flat earth, so now they've got hate streams going on me. But they're pretty boring, so I stopped watching them.
Hey, that's just more content for you to react to later.
Oh, I don't react to it anymore. I report it. I don't react to it. He said something like,
of your latest video?
No, he's just replaying something that came from last summer when I measured the curve of the Earth. And, you know, they've got a little music on it and just a constant stream of insults. You know, the guy's had 7 videos taken down, including 2 copyright strikes. You know, you'd think he'd learn his lesson. But that's okay.
Flat earthers can't learn.
Yeah. Well, they can lose their channels, though. That teaches them something. At least teaches them that math is real. You know, I got to thinking about it a bit. You know, videos being taken down for violations of the terms of service are one thing, and then copyright strikes are another thing. I wonder if there's something that I could do about the fact that he seems to be making video after video of doing nothing but insulting me. I wonder if that falls under cyber stalking and harassment on the terms of service. Well, let's go find out. I'm thinking rather than try and figure that out myself, I'll let YouTube and him figure it out with him.
Well, could it also be slander?
Nah. No, I mean, what he does is he sits down and he just cuts and pastes words that are said and puts them in out of context with each other, and then just loops them and puts them to music. That's what he's doing. No, I really don't give a crap about them slandering me. That's really all they have. They can't go after my arguments, so they have to attack me as a person. But, you know, releasing my personal information, I think, was a bit much.
Right, this is a polite message to the owner of the Common Sense Science YouTube channel. Appears he's got a stream live streamed on the 5th of January 2022, titled Flat Earth Logic Bev versus Bebby. This title of this stream is me versus somebody else, and I'm banned from the Discord server where this was taking place, the adult Globe Earth Discord server that the owner of this YouTube channel, Common Sense Science, has. Now, the title of it is Flat Earth Logic, Bev versus Bebby. As I'm not in it, I think it's falsely titled. Also, I'm looking for the actual video, because I believe this is a presentation that was made by the guy Bebby. Right now, I don't know whether he's gone to the owner of the Common Sense Science YouTube channel and told him lies or whatever. I don't know, but he's titled the stream Flat Earth Logic, Bev versus Bebby. Now, I'm Bev. I don't know if there's any other Bevs. There might be another Bev in the video. I don't know. But it does say, today we have a special guest, Bebby, looking at the flat earth logic of Bev. Well, I don't do flat earth logic. I don't hold any flat earth logic. I don't believe there is anything such as flat earth logic. I believe there is only logic. I can only presume that Bebby, the guy, has gone to the owner of the adult Globe Earth adult Discord server where this presentation was made and told him a load of lies, particularly about logic. And in order for him to present some, maybe this man Bebby is presenting flat earth logic to them, and he wants me to rebut it. I can't actually do anything about that yet, because the presentation hasn't been put up yet on his channel. Now, there were people that were have supposedly uploaded it. Where's Wally? I think is one of them who said. This man, the owner of the Common Sense Science channel, who said he would upload it to the Research Flat Moon. There's a lot of flat censored stuff around this. So the Research Flat Moon channel should be hosting this, where I was hoping to have a rebuttal to, it seems as the Bev, maybe me, maybe, might be able to rebut this claim of a Bev versus Bebby on something. Now, I would, if I was had the chance, I would love to go over and rebut this man Bebby's flat earth logic claim. Like I say, I don't believe there's any such thing as flat earth logic, just logic. So the purpose of this video, again, just to ask the owner of the Common Sense Science channel to not mislabel titles. Like I say, be honest and let people know that me, Bev, have been banned from the Discord channel, and you've made numerous threats about my channel if I were to mention your name. Hence why I'm not mentioning your name. But it seems like you can title Bev in your videos. So that may be changing pretty soon. I'm not too sure. Again, the claim. Please retitle this so it makes some sense to people who are looking in. Me, Bev, do not do flat earth logic. Never have. Never done. I'm not a flat earther. Maybe the guy that you've got coming to your channel called Bebby, maybe he's the one with the flat earth logic. So could you please retitle that to make it make sense and let everybody know that I was never there. I'm not debating anybody on the channel that I'm banned from. And also, could you please put the video up so I would at least have a chance to go over it and look at what has been claimed about me? Maybe not me, I don't know. So, again, please, retitle the video and put the other video up so I get a chance to rebut this claim of this man that has come on to your Discord server and perhaps lied about some sort of logic or something. Again, there is no such thing as flat earth logic. Maybe you've been fooled by a man who's come onto your channel and lied. So, okay, thank you. We'll be hearing more in the future. I'll look for your return. Thank you very much.